Sorry for the long wait on videos, guys, but as you can see, I am back. Sorry, I would have posted the video yesterday, but I was too busy flapping my wings and celebrating an Eagles Super Bowl victory, baby. And after winning the Super Bowl, it kind of got me thinking. The Eagles fought through a ton of adversity this year. They lost key players on offense, key players on defense, and even a key player on special teams. So why don't we transfer that miracle season that the Eagles just had into NHL? On every single team, I took away their best offensive player, their best defensive player, and their best goaltender on each team. So let's see which NHL team is going to fight through the adversity and become Stanley Cup champions in this simulation. Let's get it going. Hey guys, what is going on today? Joe here, and as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a test to see which NHL team can fight through the adversity like my Philadelphia Eagles and win the Stanley Cup. So, it took a little bit of time, but I went into the rosters of every single solitary team, did a lot of roster maneuvering, and all of the players on each and every NHL team are going to be missing their best overall rated offensive forward, their best overall rated defender, as well as their best overall rated goaltender. I moved all of those extra players to like the Dell Leagues and the National Leagues and all that kind of stuff, so they won't be being picked up by any team in free agency. And I'm also controlling every single team in this simulation, so it's not going to matter in and of the sort anyway. But as you guys can see here, just going through every single team, there's all the goaltenders for each and every team, as you can see, just to give you a sneak peek. Had to do a couple little maneuverings around. It was a little bit tricky with both St. Louis and Vegas because St. Louis has players on other AHL teams, and Vegas I have to pick from St. Louis's current AHL affiliates. It was a little bit weird working things around like that, but as you can see, the goaltenders are pretty weak. And taking a look at their starting lineups here, just going on defense really quickly through all the teams, you can see the guys like Brett Burns and Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, Riley, Tanev, bunch of those guys are all missing from their teams. And on forwards are missing guys obviously like Crosby and Ovechkin and Bergeron and Getzlaf and Kopitar, Giroux, McDavid. A lot of teams are going to have to fight through the adversity and see who's going to be coming out on top here in this sim. So if you guys wouldn't mind, make sure to leave a like down below and make sure you hit it. Let's try to get this one up above 100 likes as per usual. And also leave in the comment section down below, which team do you think is going to come out on top of this simulation here? I think for kicks and giggles, we'll follow my Philadelphia Flyers just to see how they do. Let's see who's actually going to step up offensively, defensively, and which backup goaltender pretty much is going to really prove themselves in the sim. So let's get going. Okay guys, so I decided to stop the simulation a little bit before the trade deadline here. As I mentioned, we're following the Flyers just cause. They're not doing too bad, 31, 22, and 8. They're in third place in the Metro, tied with the Islanders. But let's check out the entire league, shall we? And let's just take a look at the divisions right now. Let's see who is running away with things. So the Metro right now is being held by the Carolina Hurricanes at 80 points right now. Pittsburgh and Philly follow. New York Islanders holding one of the wild card spots. In the Atlantic, Tampa Bay is still on top, even with losing Vasilevsky, Stamkos, and Hedman. They're still up at the top of the division. Buffalo right behind them, Ottawa right there, and Toronto. Boston seems to be struggling a little bit. As we go to the Western Conference, Minnesota's on top. They didn't really lose anybody key. Devin Dubnyk in net does hurt a little bit, but they're still rolling. Chicago, Colorado right behind them. Nashville in there as well. Dallas and St. Louis, Winnipeg kind of hurting a bit. And then in the Pacific, Anaheim is up there. The LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Vancouver Canucks. Really, that's, you know, Vancouver really did not miss much. I think, what are they missing? Horvat, Tanev, and Markstrom. So, in all honesty, they're really not losing that great of players, to be honest. Maybe like low 80 overall, but Vancouver's still staying in there. Edmonton really hurting without Connor McJesus helping them out. Arizona's doing god-awful 48 points, so even when you take away their best players, they still are playing like utter garbage. Were they the worst team? I believe they were. Yeah, they were probably the worst team. Yeah, they were the worst team. And the Rangers are also the worst team when you take away Henrik Lundqvist from them, so go figure. Alright, so let's take a quick gander at who is actually leading the league right now for forwards in point totals. And Evgeny Malkin right there in the thick of things, 72 points for him. Right behind him is Phil Kessel at 68. So even without Crosby, Malkin and Kessel are still getting it done in Pittsburgh. Alex DeBrincat really stepping up there with missing Patrick Kane, so I think he probably picked up a bunch of points right there. Jacob Voracek still has 66 points, so he's picking up for the loss of Claude Giroux. Sean Monahan up there with 66. Why is Stamkos on the team? Oh, because I took away Kucherov, that's right. So Stamkos is still on the team. I took away Kucherov. They were the same overall, so I had to get rid of one of them, and Kucherov's been playing a little bit better, I would assume. So that's the forward group right there, being led by Evgeny Malkin and Phil Kessel. If we take a look at the defenders, Cam Fowler with 51, Shattenkirk, Krug, and Subban, Brody Goligoski, Gardner, Hamilton, Werenski, Provy's up there, that's nice, Daly, Muzzin, Parayko, and Schultz. So still some familiar names for defenders. Obviously, you're not going to get the offensive juggernauts. You're getting a lot of the weird two-way defenders getting some points now. And now the very interesting part, the goaltenders. Who is leading the way for the goaltenders? Tristan Jarry. Wow. 30 wins for him. Ryan Miller. Okay. 29. Mike Condon. Stalock. Anders Nielsen. As you guys can see, all the good old backups really stepping up in their job right here. Really, technically the only starter at this point you could maybe argue is Jake Allen. But for obvious reasons, I took out Carter Hutton because he's been playing a lot better than Jake Allen. Obviously, Jake Allen was a starter this year, but he hasn't really been playing all too great. But Tristan Jarry seems to be stepping up. Save percentage, who is the best save percentage right now? Yeah, so Tristan Jarry, Condon, Mrazek, Reimer, Miller. Any Flyers up there? No, Scott Wedgwood on there. Arizona up there too. So yeah, some decent save percentages, but Tristan Jarry seems to be leading the way right now. Goals against averages as well. Very interesting goaltenders stepping up for their teams in big ways, as you can see. But Pittsburgh, with Tristan Jarry leading the way, no Matt Murray, seems to be getting it done. Same thing with Carolina, with Cam Ward leading their way. But let's get to the end of the season here, and let's see how everything shakes up with the squads. And let's see who's moving on to the playoffs, and we'll see who's going home. Alright, so we have made it to the end of the season here. Unfortunately, Flyers missed the playoffs by 2 points. They didn't even get the wild card either, so they lost out there. So that's unfortunate for the team. But let's go into the stats here and see who actually won the President's Trophy. I think it went to Pittsburgh. They still managed to get 101 points on the year, which is ridiculous. But actually the Minnesota Wild ended up being the President's Trophy winning team. 106 points, 50, 26, and 6 on the year for them. Tampa Bay, even without Vasilevsky, still Stamkos was able to help that team out. No Kucherov and no Hedman, but Steven Stamkos was still able to help that team out. 105 points, 50 wins for both Minnesota and Tampa Bay. Anaheim and Pittsburgh right after them with division leaders. Actually, no, the Winnipeg Jets may have went 90. They were the 19th best team in the league, and that's it. Arizona was still the worst team in the league, 73 points, followed by the Rangers, the Flames, the Stars, and the St. Louis Blues. No Tarasenko helping them out. Alright, so let's check out the forward core here. Once again, Evgeny Malkin, 101 points. Phil Kessel with 93 points. Can't say anything else about those guys. Pittsburgh still finds a way to get it done. Those guys almost got 200 points combined between 2 players. Absolutely ridiculous. 45 goals from Malkin. Who was the best goal scorer in the league? Steven Stamkos with 46. Malkin and Sagan and Skinner all had 45 goals apiece. Just Skinner had one hell of a year. Assist leaders was Alex DeBrincat with 64. It was probably feeding Taves for a good bit. Radulov, Kessel, and Teravainen all had above 60. And obviously the point totals were right there. Bride Marchand right up there at 82. Draisaitl with 82. All those guys were above point a game player, with Skinner, Sagan, Perry, and Voracek following closely behind for the forward core. If we go to defenders here, most goals by a defender was PK Subban with 17 goals. I took out Roman Josi, if you guys are wondering. So Subban still stayed there, getting it done. Shattenkirk, no 20 goal scorers for defenders, which is interesting. Krug, Goligoski, Jan Ruda, 78 overall defenseman, 13 goals for him on Chicago, so that's interesting. Assists leaders, Cam Fowler with 58 assists, that's ridiculous. Shattenkirk, Subban, and Brody right after him. But then points, easy win there for Cam Fowler, 67. Subban, Shattenkirk, Krug, Brody, and Werenski following him right after that. And then the goaltenders on the year, Obviously, I think Tristan Jarry is going to win the Vezina. .922 save percentage. Well, I don't know. It could be close. Save percentages. Let's go to save percentages. Minimum of 60 games played. Best save percentage went to Mike Condon, but Tristan Jarry still had 2 more wins. I still think they'll give it to Tristan Jarry, I think, for the wins. That's another thing I want to see. How about we go to Minnesota, because they were the President's Trophy winning team. Let's go to Minnesota, and let's just take a look at all their skaters here. So they had Alex Stalock and Nicholas Svedberg were doing the job for those guys. So, I mean, yeah, Svedberg didn't do great. Stalock won 39 games. Svedberg won 11. They were the President's Trophy winning team. So they didn't really have spectacular stats from their goaltenders. Niederreiter, Koivu, and Parise all had above 70 points. Stahl was 1 point behind them. Yeah, they definitely had some depth right there. Definitely had some depth with the team. They were missing... Who were they missing? Dubnik, Suter, and Granlund, I think? I think I took off Granlund, right? Yeah, I took off Granlund instead of Parise. So they didn't really miss anybody all too crucial, and hey, they ended up winning the President's Trophy. Okay, guys, so we have made it to the conference finals here in this simulation. As you can see, the President's Trophy Minnesota Wild have made it to the Western Conference Finals. They're going up against the Nashville Predators. I'm not sure what seed they are. I think they're probably a 3 seed, I would assume. I think they're a 3 seed. They beat Anaheim. They got through Edmonton to make it there. And in the East, we have 2 powerhouses, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh got through Detroit and knocking out the Capitals in the 2nd round again. How fitting. While Tampa Bay took care of Toronto and Ottawa in 7 to make it there. So Minnesota, Nashville, Tampa Bay, and Pittsburgh are still left. I'm going to keep running with the President's Trophy winning Minnesota Wild here in this simulation. So they're going up against the Nashville Predators here in the Western Conference Finals. Let's see if they can get her done. But unfortunately, they are down 3-1 in the series to the Nashville Predators. And we might have a Stanley Cup rematch here. Nope, the Wild do force a game number 7. And they will unfortunately fall short. And Nashville will go on to the Stanley Cup Finals against, we'll go to Nashville, against Pittsburgh. So we do have a Stanley Cup rematch right here, Nashville versus Pittsburgh. Very, very interesting. So we took away Crosby, Letang, and Matt Murray from Pittsburgh. We took away Pecorine, Roman Josi, and I think Philip Forsberg away from the Nashville Predators. So even through all that, both teams still managed to make it back to the Stanley Cup Finals here as a rematch of last year's final. And let's see how this one turns out. Let's see if Nashville's going to get some revenge from Pittsburgh as they go up 3-1 early on the Penguins. 3-2, 6-3, and 4-2. Up 3-1 in the series, but Pittsburgh is fighting back to force a game number 6. And unfortunately, that will stop right there as the Pittsburgh Penguins fall a little bit short and Nashville Predators do get their revenge and win the Stanley Cup. Alright guys, so here we are at the awards screen, showing you guys the awards real quickly. So Nashville wins the Stanley Cup, obviously President's Trophy went to Minnesota. Clarence S. Campbell and Prince of Wales, both Nashville and Pittsburgh in back-to-back years. Through the simulation, Art Ross went to Evgeny Malkin, Hart Memorial, Evgeny Malkin, James Norris, Cam Fowler, Lady Bing, Alex DeBrincat, Calder Memorial, Alex DeBrincat. Conn Smythe went to UC Saros, so most Conn Smythe MVP. Goaltender, so we took away Pecorine, UC Saros stepped it up, and he is the Conn Smythe winner. Vezina actually went to Mike Condon, so they did not give it to Tristan Jarry. Very interesting. They opted to give it to Mike Condon. He had the better save percentage than Tristan Jarry, 2 less wins, but I guess that was the reasoning for that. I didn't look at shutouts either, but Mike Condon gets the Vezina. William N. Jennings goes to Ryan Miller. Bill Masterton goes to Radko Gudas. Frank J. Selke goes to Jordan Stahl. I could definitely see that because I took away Bergeron, so somebody else had to win it. Ted Lindsay, Evgeny Malkin, and Maurice Richard, Steven Stamkos. So, there you go guys, very interesting simulation there nonetheless. We took away the best players from every single team, and we ended up with a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup, but this time with Nashville coming out on top over the Pittsburgh Penguins. So if you guys like that little simulation video, like I said, make sure to leave a like. If you guys would like to see other unique things like that, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Leave what you would like to see, and if I already read it, and I like it, we'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe as always. See you guys next time. Peace.